We've reached the final day of July. It's the 31st. It's a Thursday, and this is The Vault for a Ravens Lunch Hour live stream. I'm Bobby Trossett. She's Sarah Ellison. It's brought to you by our friends at us. TheVaultPod.com/shop is now available to the public. It's our new merch line, our new apparel line that we've rolled out over the last couple of weeks, and we've been really excited about all the response and feedback and activity, most of all, that we've seen from you guys on the back end. So we'll tell you about the store and coming up later on in the show. But on your way in, if you could like the video, subscribe if you haven't already done so, hit that notification bell, consider becoming a channel member or gift-giving membership. That's already begun today. But here's the content, and Evan is spot on. We are loaded with content today, Sarah. Nick Wright will begin with, did he get it right on the Ravens? We'll talk about what his comments mean for Isaiah Likely, if they mean anything at all, coming up in just a bit. After that, you pulled out some receipts for, well, we'll get into practice notes prior to that, some film that was put out by Ravens Productions. Highlights is TJ Tampa and Bo Braid making their cases. And then you pulled out some receipts, Ryan Clark, some Lamar Jackson hypocrisy. We'll weigh in on that. A boatload of quick hits. Needless to say, we better get going. Good to see you.
It's good to see you. We should get going. And of course, Nick Wright, first things first, and everybody else in the national media have been discussing what impact the injury to Isaiah Likely will have on the Ravens. We've been talking about Isaiah Likely all offseason, talking about how he's worthy of tight end one status, along with the other tight end one, Mark Andrews, on the roster. And we've been talking about a contract extension, how he may be the next guy. And so when we've been talking about this up-and-comer, and then you lose him early in camp, we know that the initial report saying it'll be 6 to 8 weeks. Week 1 is 5.5 weeks away. Will he be able to make it? And so the guys on First Things First talked about their concern level of the Ravens missing Isaiah Likely. And Nick Wright is super nervous. I don't know if I'm going to go all the way there, but he does make potentially some compelling points. You let me know on the other side.
It's, cataclysmic, but I think it's significant. And I also think the fact that I have a real hard time discerning how long players are actually going to be out, because I don't trust the national NFL reporters on this.
Okay.
Every injury is avoided disaster, could be back early, and then 2 months later, it's like he's returning to practice, because there's very little reporting and much more PR from agents these days. And so I would be shocked if Isaiah Likely beats the projections, because I think the projections are overly optimistic. Does that make sense?
You broke your foot.
He broke his foot and had
39
surgery.
days.
Yeah. And so I just think if we throw the schedule back up, I think week 3 is the most I think
they'll beat the
Browns.
Lions. Well, the Browns are they usually play them tough, but I think
but we thought the Raiders were awful last year, bro, and they lost to them. I will be picking them against the Browns. My point is, I think they're going to be without him until week 3 at the earliest, and it's noteworthy.
Yeah, so part of a big topic, as you kind of teased there on First Things First, how concerned should you be with the Ravens given this? And just to kind of highlight some of the things you just listened to there. Quote, I don't trust the national NFL reporters on this. There's very little reporting and much more PR from agents these days. I would be shocked if Isaiah Likely beats the projections, because I think the projections are overly optimistic. Sarah, there would obviously be plenty of incentive for agents to be optimistic on their side of things with their clients' timelines. He goes on to say, my point is, I think they're going to be without him until week 3 at the earliest. You kind of alluded to it. We haven't even spoken about this, because that's the way we do content. We see what it's like, and we do this in real time here in terms of the debate side of it. I don't think he's far off. I don't think there's any outlandish part of this specific clip that we chose to highlight. Now, the trust levels for national reporters, he took it maybe a little far, but when it comes to the injury statuses, you have to be able to read through some of the minutia sometimes when the agents are feeding this information to national reporters. So, and by the way, I think the elephant in the room here is even if he is ready week 1, but you don't necessarily want to push him, or maybe it's like a coin flip. Why would you want that coin to end up on the side of, hey, let's just get him out there to get him out there? No, you want him there as much as he possibly can for the push, not only the playoff push, but once the playoffs come as well. And if you're starting to risk that and trying to rush him back in any way, that to me just does not feel like when you play the risk reward game, it just doesn't feel worth it to me.
Yeah, as fans like to call him Nick wrong, but I think in this case he might be right. Whether it's because agents are trying to paint a certain narrative, maybe that's true. Or, I mean, shoot, John Harbaugh catches a lot of flack from Ravens fans all the time for his injury projections, although I'd say he's probably right much more often than he's wrong, but we remember the wrong ones because it sticks with us. It sticks with us when like stars of the team don't return. But like injury projections are just messy. And to their point, Bobby, Jimmy Smith talks about all the, now this isn't a Liz Frank injury. I remember though that Jimmy Smith and a lot of football players say like the foot injuries, especially Liz Frank, are the toughest to return from. So yeah, let's say he's somewhat even ready by week 1. It's going to take a minute for him to feel 100%. I mean, think about even players themselves, they're in denial, right? How about you? Let's even take it away from football. Your mom's dealing with health issues right now. How frustrated is she that her body isn't responding as quickly in her recovery as her mind wants it to be? So it's not even just that maybe agents are lying to us or that John Harbaugh is lying to us. It's just that inherently, as an agent, as a player, as a coach, you want to be optimistic, but your body's going to respond how it responds. And so I said yesterday when we were reacting to this news, even if he came back on week 1, like, is he really going to be up to speed until like mid-season? That's kind of what I'm doing. I'm putting on my patient cap. Now, where I think Nick Wright, and he does this, and this is why they're national guys, is they exaggerate. At one point, he called it cataclysmic.
Well, no, he said it's not cataclysmic, it's significant.
Oh, okay, good.
He used the word, Sarah. The problem was he used the word cataclysmic, which prompted me to go to Google search.
Right.
Okay? It's a ridiculous word to use in debate format, but I guess we got to tip our cap to him for his jargon.
Okay, so he said it's not cataclysmic.
Yes.
Okay, good.
And did you notice how I chose?
Right.
Did you notice how I chose to keep that word out of my transcription? I wasn't even messing around with that word.
Well, maybe you should have, because I obviously got it wrong. So, but anyway, I think there's a point to be had. I think that we need to be patient with Isaiah Likely. I think Isaiah Likely is going to need to be patient with Isaiah Likely. And then if he surprises us all, then sweet. But in the meantime, as much as like my heart goes out to him, as much as my heart goes out to the team, because I really wanted this to be the year that Isaiah Likely breaks out, and he still could. The Ravens are going to be fine. As critical as I've been of Mark Andrews for that Bills game, and my main gripe is, or my main solution going forward was like, I would prefer the Ravens to go elsewhere in big moments, but I never once for a minute in all my critiques of him had any doubt that Mark Andrews was going to have a great regular season as long as he's healthy. Like, that's all he does. And so in the meantime, I have, during this regular season, complete confidence in Mark Andrews. Plus, I don't know, we may be seeing more 13 personnel out there. Like, do you want to put out, I'm sure they're still going to have 12 personnel with whether it's Kolar or using Ricard in a tight end kind of position. But like, you're going to be asking yourself, okay, do I want to put Kolar out there, or am I just going to put DeAndre Hopkins out there along with Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman? I feel like there's still plenty of weapons that will help them until Isaiah Likely gets his feet under him, I guess, pun intended.
No doubt. Yeah, I just want to make sure you didn't just freeze. Okay, there you are. And one last thing on the Nick Wright nugget here. I think some have been unable to forget about just recent comments within the last couple of weeks related to the Ravens tight end room, referring to the group as average. something paraphrasing somewhere around there. So clearly they're above average. We'll see if they're above average without Charlie Kolar. Without Isaiah Likely.
And real quick, let me correct myself. I meant 11 personnel with the 3 wide receivers out there. I do that frequently because I'm thinking 3 wide receivers, but obviously that's not what it refers to. 11 personnel, I can see them out there more often. And keep going.
Yeah, well, look at what the duo's done together. Gonna have to wait, obviously, for them both to be on the field at the same time, barring something miraculous from Isaiah over the next month. But ESPN research had Likely and Mark with 17 total touchdown catches last season combined. That's the most by any tight end combo in the entire league from 2024. And Lamar had 23 touchdown passes with multiple tight ends on the field. That's the most since Tom Brady did so in 2011. So just to kind of remind you of what this offense, a lot of what this offense runs through and how integral pieces really are in the tight end room. And look at what Mark did, just as a reminder, in week 10 last year when Isaiah Likely was down. He had a season high route rate, 94%, 7 targets, good for a 21% of the share, 6 catches, 68 yards, and a touchdown. So for some reason, you've forgotten about this dude's productivity, what he's able to do with and without Isaiah Likely on the field, then use these slides as a way of calming your mind because, Sarah, they got a lot of weapons, and you already know 89 is going to be one of them. And all of it seems like through 2 weeks, what you continue to kind of gather that's coming out of camp, he's as dialed in as he's ever been. I mean, AJ Gersh, we're going to share some of his content, local sports reporter in Baltimore. He put out a video yesterday, Sarah, of Mark dead sprinting. Like just a dead sprint, looking like he was locked in. So
did you say you have that video?
I have it. Yeah, I'll get it in just a second here. But I just think it's sort of I think it's representative of what we've seen from Mark for a while now. Not only with the way that he handled himself just sort of in business mode, undercover mode in a sense, not really seeing much of him this offseason, but how he showed up throughout, a couple OTAs, mandatory minicamp. Here's the video right here. This is courtesy of AJ Gersh. And for those of you in the audio space, I mean, Mark just puts his head down and gets after this sprint right here.
Do it one more time. It was a little choppy for me. Here we go.
Yeah.
Dang. It is crazy how, I mean, a body that large, when we talk about Derrick Henry doing it, right? And Derrick Henry, I'm sure, is much faster, but it's just like you're that big running routes and getting open. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I love it, man. He opened it up. He's going full speed. You got to do that every time you get off the line of scrimmage. So speaking of Mark Andrews, though, Charlie Kolar was at the podium yesterday. And he was asked about, first of all, he was asked about Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews. And I love Charlie Kolar is quickly becoming one of my favorite Ravens. He's just, especially at the podium, like he just is so entertaining. But I also find him to be a super empathetic guy. And when he was asked about about Isaiah Likely, he's like, man, it stinks. And he's like, I know we use the phrase that it's part of football. Injuries are part of football. And he's like, yes, Isaiah Likely will never let it keep him down. He's going to keep moving on. He's like, but that doesn't mean you check on your teammate. I mean, out of anybody that's going to get the most opportunity because as a result of this injury, it's Charlie. And Charlie wasn't having any of that. He's like, we got to keep checking in on our teammate. He's my guy, this and that. So I really appreciated that. And then Bobby, I know you transcribed this
and
where he was
as well.
Yeah, go ahead and run that thing.
It's really in line with what's become an off-season long trend, Sarah, whether it's through social media, since press conferences and podium settings have begun earlier this offseason with OTAs and mandatory minicamp and now training camp, where coaches, players, staff members have really all in some ways, in Lamar's case, unprompted, come to Mark Andrews' defense after that playoff game. And Charlie was asked about it yesterday and added to that, again, that off-season long theme here.
Really frustrating. I know people really care about their sports, but to see how terrible some things are being said is really, I hurt for him, and like I see it, and he does a really good job of like blocking it out and stuff, and he's like very strong. But yeah, some of those things that being said is pretty messed up. Like I know that people are very passionate about their sports, but like he didn't kill someone. Like it's like we came up short. Like it sucks. It really sucks. But like to see the way people react to some of that stuff is really disappointing for someone I love and care about so much. So yeah, it does like make me upset. I understand people are emotional, but I wish people kept it above the belt a little bit more. I've been a fan. I am a fan. I yell at the Thunder when they're not playing well. You know, the champions, by the way, OKC. But I still like. I do. It is frustrating to see how personal it gets sometimes, just because I care about him and Isaiah and all of our room and all of our team so much.
Sarah, even in serious moments, he slips in his humor there, talking about the OKC Thunder NBA title. But you heard him there. I know that people are very passionate about their sports, but he didn't kill someone. We came up short. It sucks. It really sucks. To see the way people react to some of that stuff is really disappointing for someone I love and care about so much. It does make me upset. I wish people kept it above the belt a little more. So piggybacking off of what you shared related to him kind of sharing his thoughts and his frustrations for Isaiah's frustrations. Isaiah, man, Charlie's as selfless as it comes. Think about him as a competitor, which he talked about yesterday. As a competitor over the last few years, he's been in a tight end room where opportunities have been slim, limited.
Yeah.
And yet he's the consummate professional. And you put him on a slew of other NFL teams. Is it crazy to think that he could be a tight end one in this league for other teams? I don't think so. We just haven't seen a lot of it. We've seen it in flashes. He's a willing blocker. He's actually super athletic. Think about some of the plays that he's put on tape as a pass catcher. And ultimately, he does the things that are considered dirty work, but as Pat Ricard knows all too well, have major impact on the game that never show up in the stat sheet. So I know that we both loved having him on during our draft coverage this year.
Yeah.
And what a pro he is. You need a glue guy like that in your locker room. He certainly is one of them.
Yeah, I think Charlie like pointed out like the line of how you react to football. At one point he said, it just got so personal with some people. And I think that's kind of the line. It's like you critique what happens on the field, but there's no reason to let it go personal. And that's where like things do get below the belt. So it was good for Charlie to call that out.
Yeah. And that he wasn't done there with Mark. He was, but there are other parts of the press conference that I know you highlighted online, and it had everything to do with, of course, this duo that you see on here. But that's Lamar and Derek. But now the opportunity that Charlie now has in front of him, Sarah.
Well, it's so funny because Charlie is such a humble guy, and he's also just like a realist also. And so, in the past, he's just like talked up other players, and it comes across as sounding like he doesn't have confidence, which is not the case. And so one of the reporters is like, well, after you saw yourself play well last year and had a little breakout, they were like, do you have more confidence? He's like, well, let's not get it twisted. He's like, I'm a self-confident guy. He's like, yeah, to be able to go out and do it, like, it's nice. It just reassures you. And he's like, and then this is where his quote comes in. He goes, quote, if I turn around and there's 2 gold jackets in the backfield, if I'm a defensive coordinator, and then he kind of squints his eyes, he's like, yeah, I'd probably focus on Lamar too, And so he's like, it's not that I don't believe in myself. I just know what is the biggest threat when you play the Ravens. It's the MVP. It's number 8. And he goes on to say how it's his job to support number 8. It's his job to open up lanes for number 8 and number 22. And he's just like, plus we have all these wide receivers. He's like, it's kind of great to be a part of a team that's so loaded. And so he's just like, don't get it twisted that I don't believe in myself. He's like, but at the same time, I'm not Lamar Jackson. I'm not the MVP. There were some other kind of funny moments, Bobby. It's funny because we've been talking about contracts for Likely and Mark appropriately, I would say, but Charlie's going on a contract year himself. And he was so entertaining when he was asked about, well, what about you and your contract situation?
The good news is the practices are so hard that it's hard to like worry about the future that much because I can't see straight when it's so hot. And no, that's not true because I don't want to get put in the protocol. I'm good. I can see straight. I am healthy. I was just joking. But what was the question again?
Like that.
This guy. The dry humor really is like you have to be receptive to dry humor to think he's funny. Apparently, we both are because I think he's hysterical too.
Yeah. He went on, by the way, and got serious. He's like, okay, yeah, sometimes the contract creeps into my mind. He's like, but I can't control it. All I can control is the body of work I put out there. And then when it's time to negotiate, I'll have that body of work to lean on. And then apparently, I don't know, he said Maddie. Is she one of the trainers or somebody?
Maddie? I
Yeah.
think that's his fiance.
Oh, is that his fiance? Okay. So Maddie, I guess, was taking him to, I'm forgetting the name of it. He'll say it in the clip I'm about to play.
Core power.
Core power? I thought it was something sculpt.
A hot sculpt, something like that.
Power sculpt? We'll find out here in a minute. Anyway, he wants to make it clear that what he did was not yoga. Okay. Charlie Kolar did not do yoga this offseason.
Power sculpt. Okay, first of all,
Power sculpt.
not yoga. Anything where I am getting screamed at and doing burpees is not yoga. That is CrossFit. I have a fundamental issue with calling it yoga. But yeah, and the worst part is I'm sitting there like a beached whale, taking a break every 30 seconds, and the 75-year-old lady next to me is curling my body weight while doing it over and over. It's so embarrassing. And I loved it.
Sarah, I can attest.
Beached whale.
I can attest within the Pilates, hot sculpt, core power, reformer, some of that stuff that I was doing in Baltimore.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking to your right and left, and you're like, okay, I think I'm stronger than her. I think I'm stronger than him. And yet they're just lapping you.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel his pain, but he liked it though. There is no better feeling than walking out of a 105-degree, 45, 50-minute class, drenched in sweat, ready to go start your day. I just love that feeling. Something intoxicating about it.
It's the best coming out of a workout and you are drenched and you put it like you pushed yourself to your limits.
Yeah.
And like it's likely going to be the toughest part of your day. And you finished it for you at 6 a.m. For me, more at like 9 a.m.
And that, well, not that you're not up though.
Yeah.
That's for sure. You're definitely up. But that is the beginning to today's show and essentially the tight end topic.
Yep.
Let's get some super chats before we get into highlights and then on to some Ryan Clark hypocrisy. Douglas H. Brown Sr. is here as he was, oh my gosh, 5.5 almost hours prior to the show. He said,
question for you, Bobby. Why is it when I was doing it, remember when you were in New York, how come the pre-show super chats and gifts did not show up for me? Like, it's funny because I see it now. Like, I see the one that you see, but I wonder, like, when you were out, why I couldn't see it. Why didn't
I was
populate?
wondering the same. It was right there for me, but it has happened to me once before where it hasn't populated. So
okay.
Wish I had an answer.
All right.
Strange YouTube malfunction. Could be StreamYard too.
Could be StreamYard. Yeah.
We've had a lot more gaffes with StreamYard than we have with
YouTube.
So Douglas at 6:38 in the morning says, once again, I will be out of the house office for meetings today. So I will miss the show, but I wanted you two to feel the love. I'm not complaining. The Lord is blessing me with work.
I do feel the love from you, Douglas Brown Sr.
Yeah.
Douglas
we both
H.
do.
Brown.
We both do, especially because we're looking at our channel membership count number right now, Sarah. And I have no idea how it's 956 and it was 947 yesterday. It's probably because we had a bunch of resets this day last month, but that didn't renew. But that 956 number is currently 961 because after Douglas's $10 super chat, he dropped in a 5 spot. So 5 new Voltrons have been gifted, and Eric Hill matched that a short while ago at 12:07. So thanks to Eric, thanks to Douglas for being here. And after that, Eric Hill also left a super chat. Sarah?
Eric Hill says, good afternoon, everyone. He's pushing this hashtag 6K for LJ.
Love it.
Nice ring to that.
Appreciate you, Eric. Hopefully everything's all right.
He's going right past 5K and going for 6K.
For real. D-Rod is in the house, and he said, just ordered some merch. Happy Thursday, fam. You guys know the drill. We have a link that's included in a bunch of different places. One in the pinned comment in live chat, one in the show notes, or you can just go search for it yourself. thevaultpod.com/shop. D-Rod, let us know what you got, brother. Joy Walker 145, Sarah, she's in the house.
She says, "Sup, Voltrons, Bobby and Sarah. Just watching Keaton on the lounge. Just watch Keaton on the lounge. Inspirational interview. Great kid." Nice.
We loved spending time with him draft weekend, and boy, was he generous with his time. Eric says, likely is still going to get paid. No question about that.
Sure.
Ravens have an abundance of riches. I have never seen a team this stacked in all aspects of a team, with that same hashtag that he's riding with. Appreciate you, Eric. Dreams checking in on this Thursday, Sarah.
I hate to be that guy, but I have a feeling either Andrews or Kolar is going to end up in KC next season, especially if Kelsey retires. Might be right.
You get the sense the end is near.
Listen, I think the Ravens could keep 2 out of the 3. I don't think they can keep 3 out of 3. That'll be interesting.
Pretty surprised that Travis is back. You get the sense the end is near.
Mm-hmm.
Oceans08 says, don't take the bait, guys. Nick is concerned trolling.
Listen, here's the thing, though. When he talks down on Lamar, we'll just have to bring up these receipts and be like, but you said that it's, a little concerning with likely gone. So that's more weight on Lamar.
Yeah, he's concerned, but I think the main point of bringing it in today was that we felt like he had some compelling perspective on the whole timeline recovery.
Yep.
For Isaiah.
Yep.
That was the main point behind it.
Yep.
Eric, let's see. Who read the last one? This is yours from Eric yet again.
He says, I couldn't send this yesterday. Shout out to all the OGs of the vault. PHP, Dre Dog, Tila, Zhang, Chris M, DHB Senior, and a few I missed. You keep the chats jumping behind the scenes. Hashtag 6K for LJ. What a nice one. Although I feel bad for anybody that gets, sometimes you like to make a list and somehow you forget about somebody when you're making a list. So that person feels slighted, but he's saying anybody else that he's missed. There's a lot of OGs around here.
And honestly, at one point I thought about adding to this list as you were reading it. And then I thought to myself, I'm not gonna, because we don't even know of so many OGs that just don't participate in the chat because they're driving vehicles. They're in an office space where they can't. They're whatever they're doing, they're busy, but yet they're with us. So we literally, Sarah, we only know these names on the screen, one, because of their unbelievable commitment to us and their generosity and their involvement, but they have the flexibility to be involved in the form of their names popping up in the live chat and in the comment sections. I'm sure there's a slew of people out there that we don't know their names, and they've been with us since day one. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to everybody. Heather McCubbins has gifted 2 channel memberships, 1 apiece. Thank you, Heather. Eric has done the same. Appreciate you, Eric. Whatever Eric today, Sarah, he must not be in the line of fire right now because he's very involved. We appreciate you, Eric.
The fire alarm has not gone off yet today, it seems. Yeah.
Seriously.
Dream, is it your turn?
This one's for you. Dream
says we should be campaigning for hashtag Lamar for MVP, but it's back to hashtag MV3. Stephen A. Smith kept calling him a 3-time MVP on First Take, so he knows the truth. He was robbed for MVP.
Dreams, appreciate you. It kind of does feel strange.
I gotta go find that clip. We gotta find that clip. I'm gonna write a note to myself.
Like, what a bummer that MV3 has to essentially just be like reiterated for another season, assuming that he's going to be MVP caliber, which you would expect.
Dreams, sorry, Bobby, go ahead.
That's right. Go ahead.
I was asking Dreams if that was today or yesterday.
Dreams, let a lady know. And while you go write that down, again, D-Rod is apparently perusing through this site as of this morning. But just in case you've been living under a rock, thevaultpod.com/shop now exists. T-shirts, hoodies, crew necks, tank tops, both unisex and ladies options for you there. I know, Sarah, you got a couple of those coming. Under Armour T-shirts and golf polos. You know, I got my second haul features a few of those. You've got the beanies, and all these come in the wheel form of the vault, and then just the vault in wording, in letter form. The snapback's been a big hit. It continues to be such. More beanies, more hats. Bucket hats are now available as of a week ago. Koozies, both for tall cans, mid-size, normal cans, mugs, stickers, magnets, you name it. We got it all for you, and we hope you guys will check it out. Thevaultpod.com/shop. shop. Shall we get some highlights from Wednesday, Sarah, and the third day of Ravens padded practice?
Yeah, take us through what you got so far.
All right, cool. So, yeah, I brought in a couple here, both of which are courtesy of Ravens Productions. They've been on this. And the first is just D-Hop doing what he does. I feel like there's been a couple highlights like this already, but here he is matched up with Jair Alexander, Sarah, in coverage, and just finds a way to come down with this football. And yet again, it's great ball placement from Lamar. That's a different play, obviously, there. Wiggins was the closest to D-Hop, but it's just kind of showing the versatility. There's Cheeto Awuzie, Sarah, who has had, I should say, according to beat reporters on the scene, a solid week, which is good for him because, I'm sure for him it was like when Jair was brought in, the whole place is thrilled. And then he's like, oh, okay, well, let me make sure I get my playing time and let me earn my stripes here, my first year in Baltimore. But this was sort of the first part. Look at Jair. I mean, Jair's
He's right there.
Coverage on him, right there with him. But D-Hop just,
ball placement was fire, as you mentioned. I mean, it was Cheeto didn't have a chance, even though he was right there.
Well, yeah. Oh, on the say that again.
I'm sorry, not Cheeto. That was Jair.
Correct.
Jair didn't have a chance of getting that ball because the placement was perfect, even though he was right there. Yeah. Right.
And much like the play that you brought in for us earlier this week, which was the OPI in the Wiggins coverage, it's starting to seem like with some of the highlight plays, we only see the highlight plays, obviously. That's what the team puts out, and then we have to lean on the beat reporters for things that go awry, like all the pre-snap penalties that have been going on this week, which you would expect for this time of year. But it does kind of seem like Lamar and D-Hop are making that concerted effort to get in the same kind of rhythm, to get on the same kind of cadence, understand each other. And Lamar's ball placement on a couple of these highlight plays almost stick out more than D-Hop going into circus mode.
Yeah, and D-Hop did look good, and it is always nice to have those highlights. But as you said, we're not seeing it all. I do know that yesterday was not a great day for the offense. Jeff's Rebeck. So they have a scoreboard out there if you've never been to a training camp for the offense and defense, and it's going on throughout the team portions. And the defense, listen to this lopsided score.
Yeah.
The defense won the practice. And this isn't like, it's not like the defense is scoring. They have a scoring system. So it's not like they're going out and like getting interceptions and returning it for touchdowns. That's not what it is. There's just, each side gets points for certain things. But Jeff Rebeck said the defense won the practice yesterday 63-36.
Oh boy.
And then he went on to say, Bobby, that even though it was 63-36, and he goes, it didn't even feel that close.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a bad day with penalties and all of that, according to all the beat reporters.
And piggybacking off of his own piece there with this tweet that he also threw out, he mentioned lots of vets having limited to no reps on Wednesday. That probably explains a lot of what was taking place. But he referred to it as a tough watch, which goes right in line with what you read. Penalties, drops, errant passes, all were featured. Ball hitting the ground a lot, but if there was an area that you can point to feel good about that it's been a roller coaster on, it's the rookie kicker, Tyler Loop, who had a perfect day, at least at the time of this tweet, 258 yesterday afternoon. He was 9 for 9, including a long of 53. So we know earlier this week, Sarah, he was struggling from 40, I think it was 40 and in, and was missing left. Follows it up with a perfect Wednesday. Again, at the time of this tweet, a perfect 9 for 9.
Yeah, and that long from 53, everything I keep hearing is he has the leg. He has the leg. And I think the good news is it was another padded practice yesterday. So, they were talking about maybe the reason why he had that one bad day, because he had been perfect throughout camp, except for, was it Tuesday that happened? It was probably Tuesday. And that was the first day of him being in pads. So maybe he's already adjusted. I don't know. I don't want to keep seeing this though. I don't want to keep seeing like the up and down, but 9 for 9 is not nothing. And that 53-yarder is not nothing either.
So far, this is what we're getting,
yes.
right? So far,
I need to see that evening out, get it evened out.
A bumpy for the audio folks, a bumpy road, a bumpy start, which
roller coaster.
Which is a roller coaster, which is not unexpected. I got another one here from a young player that I know Mel Kiper mentioned during the draft process when the Ravens were looking at corners. And boy, did they ever look at corners, particularly day 3, obviously, when they brought in a couple of them. AJ Gersh, we're going to share a clip. We've already shared a clip of his. He noted that TJ Tampa's best day was yesterday, meaning on Wednesday. Had a big interception, which we'll show the highlight of here in just a second. Cooper Rush was on the wrong end of that. And according to AJ's eye, a nice pass breakup during one-on-ones. Sarah, here he is going up and getting an errant ball thrown by Cooper Rush. So good hands, if nothing else. Really good hands, matter of fact. That was coming in hot, and he timed it well, got up, showed some hops. He and Bo Braid are loving it. They're going to be fighting and jockeying for roster positions here. There he is knocking. There's the PBU that AJ probably mentioned. And by the way, who's on the other end of that? Devontae Walker. TJ likes it, celebrates it. Number 27, Sarah, a 4th-round pick from 2024 out of Iowa State. This time last year or around that or so, he underwent the double sports hernia surgery that really kind of derailed the start to his rookie season. Saw mostly special teams from him last year with some flashes, but they're high on him, and he's one of many in a room that is going to be scratching and clawing for time.
Okay, TJ, we see you. We see you. It's just about stacking those days, staying healthy, all that kind of stuff. And Bobby, that's exactly what you want to see. I mean, the depth at corner right now is very nice, and you need depth at corner. We've seen guys come in and out. Like you said earlier, Cheeto, you've heard lots of great things about him. So that's all nice. I'll tell you what else is nice. Cordell Woodland has been talking about Bo Braid for a couple days now. And now he just is like, it's just like, again, it was another day. So I haven't pulled any clips in from him talking about Cordell, about Bo Braid. But almost every day, Cordell's giving him a shout out. And I think this one might be the strongest one yet.
Bo Braid, I've been talking a lot about Bo Braid. He has been very active with the pads, very active. I talked about him hitting Keaton Mitchell yesterday, still blowing Keaton up. I mean, he legit came through the hole on one of these runs from Keaton on the inside, and he just lowered his shoulder. It wasn't a late hit or anything, just laid the boom to Keaton. Just laid the boom to him, and Keaton has been a good sport about it all. He's gotten up. Keaton actually had a nice touchdown run in the red zone today, too. So, I think he's embracing this right now, but Bo Braid has been on a roll as of late, and I asked John Harbaugh about him, and John seemed like he's been impressed with Bo as well.
He mentioned John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh talked about, this is going to impress John Harbaugh, that Bo Braid was in the weight room as John was coming in, and John's like one of the earliest people. So that's going to make your coach happy. But sounds like he's being super physical. And I'll say this, Bobby, we'll find out if this is just camp kind of hype that you're playing well against the twos with Bo Braid based off of what the Ravens do. We talked about after Ardarius Washington went down, we talked a lot about, will the Ravens go out and sign a veteran? And we said, listen, we'll probably go to camp first. They'll get a look at Bo Braid. They'll get a look at Sanusi Kane, and then they'll make that decision. And so if they are truly impressed by him, then they won't sign somebody. If they're not, then we'll see a veteran maybe get signed off the street.
I thought he and Sanusi Kane both popped in preseason play last year, and I'm sure that had a lot to do with those final couple slots of securing a 53-man roster opportunity. And I would guess that both players aren't guaranteed. Sanusi probably is, being that he's a draft pick, but then again, they saw something in Bo last year, and he's off to a good start. I mean, everybody knows this guy too. He's got the Maryland ties, the local ties, and he's a local fan favorite. So best wishes to him. Off to a good start. You also mentioned, just in terms of availability, some notable injury updates that John Harbaugh gave. Yes, he confirmed that Isaiah Likely, without actually mentioning the specific timeline, he referenced the reported timelines that have been out there, that 6 to 8 week or so recovery timetable. He confirmed that that's what he's expecting as well, based on what he's been briefed on. An early season return. Yes, he's going to undergo surgery. Sarah, maybe he already has at this point. And he's not going to need crutches, interestingly enough. And there's apparently some sort of mechanism that he'll have as a
replacement.
did you have any understanding of what that was?
No, because he didn't really say. He just was saying that Isaiah was happy that he wouldn't have to be in crutches and that he can use a different. I don't know what the different mechanism is, but there's something that will replace crutches for him.
Yeah. Okay. As for Zay, his setback undisclosed. Some of the beat reporters noted during Tuesday's practice that he was seen favoring or maybe even like slightly gingering. What's the word I'm looking for? Gingerly.
You go.
He was moving gingerly. Somewhere Jake Asman's like, thanks for the shout out. Something lower body wise.
Yeah.
So Harbs referred to that as a camp type thing, assuming that's what this is, and said that he's going to be back in a few days. As far as Jalen Armour-Davis, he's also undisclosed his setback. Harbs referred to it as an itis thing, so perhaps some inflammation. Not serious, won't be out long. He'll be fine, which is good. That's the quote, he'll be fine, which is good for JAD, Sarah, because he's got to fight his butt off to make this roster.
Yeah, he does. It's going to be tough for him, but it does. Jalen Armour-Davis and Zay Flowers sounded better than it did the day previous when we had covered him. And so Jalen Armour-Davis had to go get an MRI. And so same thing happened with Isaiah Likely. Then we get a 6 to 8 week timeline with Jalen. He comes back from the MRI and they just call it an itis that's not serious and that he'll be fine. So good news for Flowers and JAD.
It was a funny moment yesterday when I was live and you tweeted that out and I'm looking at it and I'm going through it. I'm like, what is itis? Itis?
Yeah.
Itis. And everybody's looking at me on the screen, and time just kind of freezes in those moments. And then sure enough, I go and Google it. It's like, okay, inflammation.
Inflammation of something. Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Let's get caught up.
He called it one of the itises. And so it was
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Get fully caught up on this before we get after Ryan Clark a little bit. Eric Hill with a super chat letting us know what's up. The pager is quiet at the moment and no work today. Okay, so you're on call then, right? Is that your understanding of that? He's on call at the moment?
It's usually what a pager does. Yeah.
All right, Eric. Well, hopefully that stays that way for your sake. And our buddy Will checking in, Sarah, with the super chat.
Because I got a nickname for our DB room, the Sticky Bandits.
Elite reference.
The elite reference. He says yes from Home Alone. LOL. Hey, I use woof from Home Alone all the time. Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof. So I'll allow it.
Such an all-time movie that somehow that and Elf, you can watch it every single year and feel like it's the first time again. It's insane.
Christmas classics.
Yeah. It's insane. D-Rod, our role players have been cooking so far. Appreciate you, D-Rod. And Daryl Jordan, 2305, checks in with a $2 super chat. Look at him in selfie mode with the not the backwards hat, but the sideways backwards hat, like
diagonal.
Lamar wears during the preseason.
It's not even quite sideways. It's more diagonal.
He's just chilling. That's what I know. He's unbothered in this selfie. What's up, Daryl? Appreciate you guys for being here. Appreciate for all of your support. Thank you guys for over 1,600 concurrents at the moment. Hope you guys are enjoying your Thursdays. If you could on the way in, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you haven't already done so, hit that notification bell. Where to next, partner? Where are you taking us?
So I'm taking us to Ravens Twitter calling out Ryan Clark, and I think that they have a point. Okay, but before I pull out what Ryan Clark said, I need to give a little context. Recently, Chris Canty, former Raven, who's become a big name in the podcast kind of radio world, had something to say for Joe Burrow, which maybe he went a little bit hard, but I think there's some truth to his point. So I want to bring in the context of what Ryan Clark will be responding to. Here is Chris Canty talking about Burrow's elite status among NFL QBs today.
Chris Canty had this to say if Burrow misses yet another postseason.
Joe Burrow played GM this offseason. If it doesn't work out for the Cincinnati Bengals, if they go a third straight year of not making the playoffs, then all of a sudden Joe Burrow is, his status as a quote-unquote elite quarterback in the eyes of most has to change. All of a sudden he gets relegated to that second tier of quarterbacks.
Listen, I think you and I have a healthy respect for Joe Burrow as much as you can have for an AFC North rival. And yet I think what Chris Canty is saying here, it has some validity. Like, you can't keep being, it's kind of like Justin Herbert. Everybody loves all the tools he has. What a great passer he is, this and that. But the Chargers just don't make it to the playoffs that often. They're just not winning enough. And so Burrow has obviously won more. He's taken his team further in the past, but it's many years removed. And so what Canty is saying is like, hey, if there's a third season where you miss the playoffs, is it fair to say, okay, maybe you don't belong in that number one elite tier? And honestly, he's probably number two, because it's kind of Patrick Mahomes by himself. And then everybody puts Lamar and Allen and Burrow together. But like, whenever Allen and Lamar are healthy, you don't even have to like wonder if they're going to make the playoffs. You do with Burrow. Do you feel like that's fair that he should be dropped a tier if for a third year in a row they miss the playoffs?
I think it's reasonable. And I guess it's fair if it's reasonable, because he's onto something here with the advocating that Joe did this offseason. He put on his GM hat, if you will. And I don't know if there was another player, Sarah, who did it as loudly as he did. I mean, he put his foot down and used every single ounce of leverage that he has and had throughout the process as the franchise quarterback. That's going to add a level of pressure to not only him, but the entire team this upcoming season, because his ownership listened. Now, they haven't listened with Trey Hendrickson yet, but they feel like they have some ground to stand on there, as Trey does as well. But how much ground is that? We'll see, because he just reported to camp. At least that was the report this week. So I think that's reasonable. The level of respect I have for him, which is what you referenced a second ago, there's a lot of layers to my respect for him. I think he's surgical. I think he's big time in big time moments. I think his postseason playoff record and tape that he's put out there backs that up. In the head-to-heads with Lamar, we know who's had the upper hand.
Right.
We've seen that time and time again. It's been the Ravens and Lamar who have dominated this team, as they really have pre and post Joe Burrow, or mid Joe Burrow, throughout the Lamar era. And ultimately, he's going to end up being 4 years removed from that Super Bowl run at some point soon.
Can't be riding on that forever.
It's been a long time, and we know that he's been living off that.
Yeah.
Again, this is not to take away with what he put forward last year. He should have received MVP votes. The difference between he and Lamar, one player was able to overcome their Achilles heel, the other wasn't. And the latter of those two was Joe Burrow.
Okay, so that brings us to Ryan Clark. Both you and I feel like Canty has some ground to stand on. And by the way, I do want to say, I don't think it's crazy that like his front office listened to him in signing, of course, Jamar Chase, to put even more money in the receiver room. I feel like all those same analysts were saying, yeah, you got to do it. You can't let him walk. And so I don't think it's crazy that that this quarterback was campaigning for these wide receivers. He probably has the best. Yeah, he's got the best wide receiver room. He does. And so it's not crazy what Canty said. Ryan Clark acted like it was crazy. But in my view, what Ryan Clark said to dispute it, this to me is getting crazy. Here we go.
Joe Burrow takes none of the blame.
Let me just play that one more time. And this is where Ravens fans, I will play it longer, but this is where Ravens fans get angry. Lamar Jackson is not the problem in Baltimore either. But you can always point out where Lamar Jackson can be better. Is Lamar Jackson the number one problem in Baltimore? Absolutely not. Is Joe Burrow the number one problem in Cincinnati? Absolutely not. And when I call him a problem, I mean, these guys are phenomenal. I'm talking about in terms of winning a Super Bowl. Okay. Neither one are the number one problem. But to say, you could never say Lamar Jackson has zero part of the blame. How in the world can you say Burrow has no part of the blame? No part, Ryan?
Joe Burrow takes none of the blame for the Cincinnati Bengals not making it to the playoffs. Let's just think about the seasons Joe Burrow has actually finished. In two of those seasons, you go to the AFC championships, and one of those seasons you advance. And then you look at last year, and he's the best quarterback in the world, and it's not a conversation. And Joe Burrow,
best quarterback in the world. Best quarterback in the world last season. The hyperbole is strong with this clip. Okay, keep going.
didn't play general manager. What Joe Burrow did is what the greatest players can always do. They can say, hey, I want this. And because they want it, teams understand we better make this dude happy. And in making him happy, he begins to pay dividends on the field for us. And the other piece of it is this. You should have wanted to keep T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. You should want to keep Trey Hendrickson. Those are the best 3 players on your team outside of Joe Burrow. And I don't understand Chris's incessant need to make us not believe in Joe Burrow, or for Joe Burrow to not be a part of the conversation he has earned his way into being a part of. But you just got to watch the game.
He doesn't understand Chris Canty's incessant need to dismiss Burrow. I don't understand his incessant need to take away all blame. Now, again, I agree with the point that it's fine that he was sticking up to have those players, but then to say he was the best player in the world last year? I mean, he played well after the first 5 weeks. But come on. This is bananas. And so the point is, Bobby, here's the problem. That's fine if you want to go hard for Joe Burrow. But the energy he gives to stick up for Joe Burrow, the energy he gives to give excuses to Joe Burrow. How about this? How about when the Bengals played the Ravens? How did that first loss end in overtime?
Yeah, a pick.
He threw a pick.
Yeah.
To Kyle Hamilton. Thank you, Kyle Hamilton. How about against the Chiefs? Didn't he have a fumble in that game?
I'd have to
he
go
had
back
a fumble in that game. It's bananas that you say no part. I don't even know that the most ardent Lamar fan would be like, okay, that nothing is absolutely nothing. Sometimes they act that way, but I don't think if it came down to it. And here's the thing. So that's the energy he has for Joe Burrow.
Hey,
but how about this?
Helping you out too, who was on the receiving end of that pick that he threw, Marlon.
Oh, it was Marlo. My bad, Marlo. I gave it to
Kyle. Should have had one against Cleveland to wrap that game up.
Was it. Yeah. Yeah. That was it. Marlo, thank you. Love for
Thanks,
Marlo
chat.
there.
Appreciate
Thank you, chat. Nonetheless, it was the same quarterback that threw the pick. And so you like, if they had won that game, they probably would have made the playoffs, because that's a critical AFC North game. And so, but that's the energy, the excuse level he has for Joe Burrow. Meanwhile, I'm going to give us a little flashback to after Lamar Jackson's MVP. This is a flashback in 2020. Do you remember this, Bobby? I'm just going to let it play.
Kyler Murray right now was the quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens, we'd have much more confidence in them to win the Super Bowl. Period. We would. It wouldn't be a discussion. We wouldn't be sitting here talking like, you know what? Yeah, they can, because the quarterback's really good, because the team's really good, and everybody loves the color purple. It looks good on uniforms. He wouldn't have said all that. He would have been like, if Kyler Murray's the quarterback of this team, I see them in the AFC Championship going toe-to-toe, head-to-head with the Kansas City Chiefs, because he does add that extra dimension. And this is not knocking Lamar Jackson at all.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is knocking Lamar Jackson. You can't go and knock him and then say it's not knocking him. Okay, so for one guy,
did you have the date on that, Sarah? Did you have the date?
That was 2020. I don't have the exact date, but it was 2020. It was the year
coming off his MVP unanimous campaign.
Yeah, yeah. So for one, he's the world's best quarterback. No part of the blame goes to him. But for Lamar, after an MVP year, give me Kyler Murray. Give me Kyler Murray over Lamar Jackson. I'm sorry, but listening to that, you can't take his quarterback ranking seriously.
Wow. That's a receipt that I had forgotten about, but I knew existed because it makes its rounds every time Ryan's on the wrong end of history, like he absolutely was on that one. That is horrific. And look, that's not to say that Kyler at that time, who had just come out of school, maybe like the year prior or that year, I think it was somewhere around there, didn't have a bunch of hype around him, but he was unproven. And guess what? Years later, he's still unproven at the professional level. He's an average quarterback, matter of fact. So
And I got one more.
Hey, way to dig that one up. Way to dig that one up.
I did see that making the rounds like a month ago, and so that's why I remembered it. But I got one more clip for you. And Mina Kimes just always brings facts to the table. This is before even Isaiah Likely went down. I think it was before. I think it was right before training camp was about to start across the NFL, and the ESPN crew was asked which quarterback of Lamar, Burrow, and Allen is best at making up for team deficiencies. Here's Mina Kimes and her logic of why it's Lamar Jackson.
Well, if we're expanding to 4, I would pick Patrick Mahomes. But if we're taking Patrick Mahomes out of the equation and we're just looking at Jackson, Allen, Burrow, I'm going with Lamar Jackson there. Last season, I would say they all overcame deficiencies to some degree. Joe Burrow had the best receivers. I think we all agree on that. Josh Allen, I feel, had the best offensive line. Lamar had the best running back tight ends. But the great thing about these quarterbacks is we can look at them over the course of more than just last season. And we're only a couple years removed from Lamar Jackson's best receivers being Devin Duvernay and Demarcus Robinson in terms of commanding the most targets. In fact, prior to 2022, after Hollywood Brown, who was inconsistent and struggled at times with availability, his top receiving targets were Duvernay and Willie Snead. So we have seen Lamar Jackson elevate, shall we say, a substandard cast. And look, Allen is close. It's very close with them. This came up a lot during the MVP debate this year. But when I watch Lamar Jackson and I watch this Ravens offense, I see a system, a scheme where Lamar is the sun that creates the gravity that it all rotates around. It's no coincidence that Derrick Henry, 31 years old, came off the worst season of his career and then had the best season of his career once he started playing with Lamar Jackson. His effect on the football field is undeniable. So he would be my answer for the guy. If I was building a team from scratch and I had to pick a guy who I think could do the most at least, it would be Lamar.
Ooh, from the top rope. Mina never be accused of not doing her homework. The way she talks at a national level to the detail that people like us would talk about the Ravens because we follow them everywhere, every day. First of all, Lamar is the sun that creates the gravity around him. How about nobody was talking last year except for local people like us saying Derrick Henry went from his worst career season in terms of yards per carry to his best. And then poor Duvernay and Snead got some strays in there, but it was just facts. I mean, that girl does her homework.
Wow. I am blown away by that. That was incredible. And I think one of our most loyal listeners, subscribers, Manny from Mexico City, is going to be fired up today because, Sarah, he is on day 3 of, as he puts it, politely reaching out to Mina through Twitter, attempting to book her for us. So.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
We literally, like, he's doing it totally on his own. We have not asked him or recruited him to do it, but obviously we will be thrilled to have her on. And if that right there isn't number one reason as to why, to your point, Sarah, that the simple yet time-consuming research that's required to go into the archives like that, study the rosters, understand what Lamar had at his disposal or didn't have at his disposal, and put that into the context of what he's been able to overcome compared to his peers. That was incredibly impressive.
Very, very. I think that's a good place to put a pin in that topic and hit up some super chats.
Wow. Goodness. Let's do exactly that. All right. Let's see. We left off with, it looks like we got a magenta in here somewhere. Let's see. We left off with Daryl Jordan. So we picked things back up with Dream, Sarah. He is back for yet another one. And I'll take it. Joe Burrow can't make something out of nothing like Lamar, Dream says. Burrow has always had elite receivers, and he's been coddled for it. Appreciate you, Queon. Sarah, your favorite color.
Ooh,
it's New
magenta.
Zealand coin.
It's magenta. By the way, I had to like force myself not to make the same point that I make every time, but now I'm just going to do it. I will not. I guess I'm just going to have to do it again. Let's not forget the quarterback betrayal rankings. Lamar and Burrow were betrayed by their defense and special teams almost at the exact same rate. I mean, by the end, Burrow probably took the number 1 spot. Lamar was right there. Lamar overcame his defense and special teams last year too. And I got to send that to Mina because she'll talk about it if she can. No national media ever talk about that, but give the excuse for Burrow. Okay.
You looking to see if her DMs are open? Is that what you're doing?
I don't think it is open.
Okay.
Pretty sure it's not.
If I were,
and I have reached out to her before to try to be on the show, and she didn't reply.
Based on what she deals with on that platform, I would not keep them open if I'm her. But I see a player is hitting us with $50 in New Zealand. I think it's NZ's got to be New Zealand coin, right? And he writes, this is for you, Magenta.
Okay. Mola Lava, Sarah and Bobby. I hope I said that right. Hope you all have been solid and that the working week is treating you well. Friday couldn't come any sooner. Me and the USOS calling in sick to wash. Alofas fams, hashtag up the flock, hashtag up the All Blacks.
I love you get this. I love when you get these. I see you, player. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for the magenta super chat.
The magenta, I will do what I need to do to get through. Yeah.
Regardless, you're gonna read it.
I'm gonna read it.
Says Whiplash 4 is in the building. Place your futures bets for Burrow MVP now. The agendas are forming already. Get some decent cash for next summer. Twat Swat 22 says get him S. On fire, hashtag Joey Checkdown. Get him S. Fire emojis, hashtag Joey Checkdown. S.
What's
dot.
S. dot.
S. dot. Joey Checkdown.
Joey Checkdown. Okay, so he's saying that Joe Burrow checks down a lot.
Yeah, I got that, but who's S. dot?
I don't know.
Anyway,
let us know.
Ocean 08 for you.
Burrow threw the ball 80 times. The quarterback in second, 652. That seems like a lot more.
80 times the quarterback in second. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Do you mean 65 and maybe there was a typo with the 2 in there? I'm so confused.
Well, threw the ball 80 times.
Burrow threw the ball 80 times. The QB in second, 652. That's
80 times. 80 times more? Okay, 80 times more than the quarterback in second. So 652 plus 80?
Oh, so maybe Burrow threw it 652 times, which is 80 more than the QB in second. Is that?
Maybe.
Okay. Okay. This is always fun deciphering these super chats. Man. Oceans goes on to say, and it's crazy. Nobody ever brings this up. Shows how flawed the Bengals are as a team. Bengals as a team really are.
Oceans clarifies in the chat.
Yeah, Oceans, we got it right finally.
He threw the ball 652 and threw it 80 more. Eric Hill says, Mina is my type of people. That sun analogy was on point with his hashtag and a gift on top of that. We are rolling in gifts today. Appreciate you, Eric. Oh, boy. This is definitely a new one. Teresius Bluestone. Teresias. Tire. How about TB for you?
Tires. I don't know. We'll just call it Bluestone. Okay. Mina Kimes is a consistent ball knower, and it shows.
Appreciate you, TV, and everybody for chiming in today via Super Chat. Let's get our patrons in before we hit quick hits. Major Offense and Devin Conway. I always feel like I need to add this in, that Devin is the brother of Kelsey Conway from the Cincinnati Enquirer, who we have on usually once or twice a year for all Bengals coverage. So shout out Devin, shout out Kelsey, and shout out Major Offense. Thank you guys for supporting us through Patreon. And if you guys are interested in doing the same out there and you don't already, visit patreon.com/Ravens Vault podcast, and look who it is, partner.
He made it back in. Douglas finished his work meetings. Glad I made it back for the finish. We are too. The chat is saying S. dot is me.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So
I like that.
I was getting after maybe because I was pulling some receipts.
Okay. S. dot. I like that they have nicknamed you something that's actually flattering rather than Bojita or everything else I've seen over the years. Nice. S. dot.
S. dot.
Nice.
I like that's hitting the target. That's how I see it.
Look at this on top of the super chat. Yeah, it does sound like that.
Yeah.
Douglas H. Brown Sr. has gifted 5 additional memberships. Sarah, when I start this quick hit, will you start counting for me to see what we're at in terms of total today that we've tallied?
Okay, today.
Okay, and we'll add that number to what we started with, which is 956 overall. Thanks, Douglas. Appreciate you. On to quick hits.
It's not a lot, Bobby. I didn't have to count for very long.
Seriously?
Oh, I didn't go far enough. Let me start again. It's still
all the way up there.
Okay, let me scroll all the way up.
Today's breaking news as of this morning was the Bengals signing former Seahawks tight end Noah Fant. He's a talented former first-round pick, according to Jordan. Well, yeah, he is. But this is news. This comes from Jordan Schultz. And now he lands with everybody that we've been talking about throughout this live stream in Cincinnati. So, a tight end that the Ravens will be facing. Elsewhere, Shannon Sharp and ESPN, no longer a partnership. ESPN cut ties. It came out yesterday, and it's less than 2 weeks after he settled a lawsuit in which his ex-girlfriend accused him of rape. As many of you know who watched the First Take programming on a daily basis, he has not been on the network since late April, since he was taken off the airwaves. ESPN declined to comment. The Athletic and Andrew Marchand all over this. And it just so happens that this weekend, right, his brother Sterling goes into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. What a bummer for Sterling, Sarah, that this news story is probably going to dominate and trump everything that's going on with him and what's supposed to be an awesome celebratory weekend. But obviously, this is a serious situation with serious allegations and accusations tied to it. So that's all I'll say about that. Do you have your number?
24.
Oh, okay. So you weren't wrong then.
Well,
I guess
I had counted less, but I got more in there. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have Eric's additional in here? This is new.
When did Eric come in? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I got that.
You sure? I think it just came in.
Well, it came in at 115. It's 117.
Okay. All right, cool. So 24, you're saying?
Yeah.
Added to 956. We are 28 out. Excuse me. We are 20 out from 1,000. Appreciate you, Eric. Appreciate everybody. We're gearing up to hit that number for a second time. WT Edits, a.k.a. Will, says, we got football tonight, though. Team Harbaugh. Yeah, actually, who's playing? It's right here. It's the Lions and it's the Chargers. Los Angeles against Detroit. Thursday, 8 o'clock, NBC. And as Andrew Siciliano notes, it's the first of a scheduled 334 between today and February 8th, which is the Super Bowl of 2026. We are so back. Will, thanks for the reminder. Sarah, you going to watch this or no? I'm probably not going to be honest with you.
I'll probably have it on the background.
Yeah.
I mean, it's preseason.
It's preseason, and we get it. Guys are fighting for their lives and 53-man roster spots. And
I wish them all well.
No doubt.
But I don't have to watch all of it.
And futures and everything that comes with it. But can be a tough watch, as we know too well. Douglas H. Brown Sr. gets us to 15 out from that 1,000 number, Sarah. He's dropped in a 5 spot, so 5 new channel Voltrons now get access to perks, can become more involved with the channel. Appreciate you, Douglas. You're the man, and we're glad you're on for the tail end of the show. Sarah, you brought this one in from the boys. It looks like it's a follow-up from Phelpsy, the screenshot on Instagram, on Marlon's Instagram account.
That's right.
Looks like he's agreeing to teach some Ravens who don't know how to swim what he does best,
which is to swim. So yes. I'm going to need that next video. We're going to need a follow-up from Marlo. Okay. He asked the most decorated Olympian in the world to come help. The most decorated Olympian says, let's do it. So I'm just going to need a follow-up video. And I want to see them I want to see a before and after. Is this going to be a thing where it's right now they really can't swim, and then all of a sudden they're freestyle, or even the butterfly, because that's what Phelps was so good at. I want to see these guys swim in laps.
I'm telling you.
They're world-class athletes. They should be able to pick it up, yeah?
You would think. You never know. You never know. But have you seen Marlon's golf swing, for example? Just because you're a world-class athlete doesn't necessarily mean. Look, not everybody's Kyle Hamilton. Can pull everything up and he's an amateur, I'll tell you this, though, when it comes to Michael Phelps and swimming. As you know, I kind of got my career started in the Olympic side of things, interning in Rio, and then 2 years later in South Korea for the Winter Games. And 2016 was Michael's last ride, meaning it was the last Summer Olympics that he competed in as an Olympian. Obviously, the all-time winningest and most decorated Olympian in the history of our country, in the history of the world. There's just something about that dude, man, that screams America. Like, don't you want to just doesn't your pride start to ooze when you think about Michael Phelps? Pride of country, pride of domination, pride of just the summer games to me used to pack such a punch. And maybe it was because not that, Katie Ledecky isn't incredible in her own right. She might end up breaking all kinds of records herself, but there was something about the Michael Phelps era that just fires me up. It's like nostalgia that brings me back.
Dude, you weren't around for this, but I remember, I feel like it was 2008 when he was racing for a gold medal. And what event were we at? It could have been a preseason game or a regular. I can't even remember now. But they put the race up on the video boards at M&T Bank Stadium.
Yeah.
And the stadium was going crazy as we're watching the Olympics, and he got the gold. I mean, that was when you talk about energy flowing and just getting hype, and it's, for the country, and then he's Baltimore born, and like we're all in there cheering him on together. That was seriously one of my favorite moments in that stadium.
I'm telling you, he is everything you wanted as a fan of the Olympics. And I'm trying to pull up. Oh my gosh, can I find it? Hold
okay,
on.
I'm looking. Okay, it was the Ravens preseason opener on a Thursday night.
Okay. I mean, the dude eats, breathes, sleeps all things Baltimore sports.
Yeah. Oh, and he did when Twitter first came out, and we were like when I was working at the Ravens, this is when social media started exploding. We had to kind of figure out how to use all the different social media sites. Anyway, for one game, we had a Michael Phelps Twitter takeover. So he tweeted everything during the game from the Ravens account, and he was funny.
Really?
He was funny. Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that ever existed.
Yeah, he's up in the press box with us, and he's just like, yeah, he was funny.
Dude I'm trying to find, bear with me here. I got to find this for you. You're going to love this. It's baby-faced me and a special guest, but I'm going to have to keep scrolling. So why don't we
start doing quick hits?
Birthday.
Yeah.
To the great Jonathan Ogden, who turns 51 today. The 1996 first-round pick by Ozzie and Company. 4th round overall. Super Bowl champ. Four-time first-team All-Pro. 5-time second-team All-Pro. NFL Hall of Famer. Friend of the show. Awesome dude. Golfer, by the way. Happy 51st to J.O., Sarah.
51st. It sounds so old, and yet I'm only 5.5 years behind him. Woo!
Right? That's crazy to think. That's crazy to think.
Well, okay. We already covered the preseason game tonight. Now, what is this all about?
Oh, I don't know. People apparently appear to care about this type of stuff, Madden ratings and whatnot. Lamar was one of 5 or 6 players, as we covered earlier in the week, that hit the 99 overall ranking, and that's the highest you can get from EA Sports. Derek comes in at 98 overall with a 99 overall stiff arm, which is obviously the highest you can get in that category.
Listen,
not sure what keeps him away. Did Saquon get 99, I would think, coming off his Super Bowl campaign? You would think.
Maybe.
2,000 plus yards, everything that came with that. A run at Eric Dickerson. I assume he got 99. Maybe somebody can help us with that. But yeah, just, this time of year, Sarah, where they're milking it as they can. Madden 2026.
But Derrick Henry's not at 99 though, Bobby.
Yeah, I guess
played
not.
The game in like a decade, but I want him to be at a 99.
I guess not. As promised, I scrolled down long enough to
found
find
it.
this gem. Look.
Oh,
This
wow.
is in the green room. All right, this is in the green room in 2016.
Oh, wait, is there? Okay.
What? What happened?
I just need to know, are you sitting down or is he that tall?
Come on, you know the answer to that. You already know the answer to that. That is during my intern day. Yeah, nice, partner. Nice from you. You know that?
How tall is Michael Phelps, though? I mean, that's like, he's like
I'll never forget the first time I stood up, and I was in a studio that I used to rent in Harbor East. And as I stood up to walk to the other side of the room, Sarah saw me standing for the first time, and she's something along the lines of like, "I didn't know you were so short."
No, that's not what I said. I remember it vividly because listen, we've said this a million times. We've never met in person until like months into doing this podcast together. And I remember you standing up and walking over to like shut a door or something. And you came back and I was like, "Hey, how tall are you?"
Oh, classic. I do remember that now.
Oh man.
5'8".
Oh man.
5'8"
Okay,
on
wait.
a good day.
Let me see how tall Michael Phelps is, because maybe all of us would look super short compared to him. How tall is Michael?
Michael's lanky for sure.
Okay, he's 6'4". Okay,
6'4".
Most of the world's gonna look short compared to him. Okay, including me.
Yep. He's tall. And there he is in the green room, by the way. I was interning for the Today Show, if you're wondering. And this was 2016 while he was getting ready to wrap up his final Olympics.
That's a great
Historic,
photo. That's a great
run.
photo.
Legendary run. This guy's trying to become legendary again in first year with the Ravens, and that is a guy by the name of Jair Alexander, Sarah, who spoke with Kevin Clark of ESPN. Kevin, by the way, hosts his own show called This Is Football. This dude's been getting a lot of interviews. He is bopping around from training camp to training camp, absolutely crushing it. And here's part of his 3+ minute, it was a very short one, 3+ minute conversation with Jair. This is a condensed version of it, talking about Lamar. Obviously, they were Louisville teammates, but listen to where he goes with this. What happened to him in a preseason game back in 2019?
Hurdle knee, shoot. So, I mean, that was also another good one. I didn't want to tackle him, though. I didn't want to tackle him. Why not? You know what I'm saying? Just preseason, I wanted to make sure he was good that year. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it.
Did you tell him as soon as that happened, you were like,
Come
if this were
on,
October?
hey, man. I said, look, man, you ain't got to jump over me, man. I was going to let you scold maybe, I don't know.
Did he say anything?
Just laugh.
Lamar. Wait a minute.
Then we talked about it later.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I buy your excuse.
Thanks,
I buy
man.
your excuse.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. All right.
Do you buy it? Do you buy that?
No.
He dove for him and Lamar leaped over him.
Of course not. Yeah. And we can't play the highlight clip, but let me tell you.
We all know the play, though.
Yeah, Lamar got him good. It was 2019, Ravens-Packers, preseason. WBAL had the call. Jerry Sandusky was awesome on it. The rest is history. A lot of people have been on the wrong end of that, Sarah, including his own teammates.
I know. And listen, I don't hate it. He's funny. Jair's
funny as heck.
He's
funny
a great interview. Yeah.
What's not funny, Sarah, is that Mike Green continues to pick on Jair, the undrafted rookie tight end out of Florida Atlantic. Okay,
let's run fall down that time, though.
Oh, yes. This is a lot different than the pancake from earlier this week.
Yeah.
But look at Mike's power. Look at the violence with which he uses his hands. But how about Jair sticking in on this one? I mean, he hung in tight on this one, but they've had some good battles this week. For the audio folks, it's just a straight rush from Mike Green, and Jair is trying his best. Again, the undrafted rookie tight end out of Florida Atlantic to try and keep Mike Green at bay, and it's difficult to do. He's got a motor, Sarah.
Oh, he is that, like, when people, sometimes the word motor is overused. That is a motor. You know what? By the way, at AJ Gersh TV, it's a good follow. It's a good follow. He's got so many video clips that are fun to watch. I gotta ask him to see if he can give us one where like Mike Green's going up against an offensive lineman. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he'd probably come on the show too. Seems like a good
we should
dude.
do that.
Yeah,
we should do that. I think he's been a great follow.
Yeah.
I only recently started following him.
Yeah,
I just discovered him.
There were some folks that were DMing me, by the way, to get Cordell on the show too. I've had him on my personal channel many times, and maybe he would on the Vault too.
Yeah, so. Cordell has been one of my go-to Twitter accounts throughout this, and like, especially this time of year, we for sure lean on the beat community a lot, just because we're not there. Almost everything else, we're kind of like all listening to the same pressers and we're watching the same games and whatnot. But I just want to give a shout out to the whole beat community and all the work, because I can't tell you, for 13 years I was out there in that heat and that sun. I know what it's like, and they are grinding out there for sure.
No doubt. This
Not
time
as
of
much
year,
as the players, but
Yeah.
it's tough work.
us and the fan base lean on them this time of year. And we've both been out there. We know the grind, what it takes. The beat community grind is a lot different than, from my experience, the broadcasting grind. You know, when I was working for the Ravens radio team, I'm not out there every day. I'm trying to get out there as much as I could, especially as a young gun, just trying to find my way. The beat community does it on a micro level, and they're just, it's important this time of year to be a mouthpiece for the fan base and for us to be able to, you know, kind of share really what it is, and some of them don't agree with this. And that's, I guess, just is what it is. We're just trying to share, you know, we're trying to share and react. That's what it comes down to. And hopefully we do a decent job of doing that.
Yeah. And everybody has their different feelings about it. I remember, obviously I started late for work for the Ravens, which is a written form of kind of what we do here. And most people loved it. Most of the beat was like, oh, cool, I was highlighted in late for work today. But there were a few that didn't like it. And so those that don't, they can let us know. And those that don't care, we're happy to continue to share.
Gosh, you hope that it's not to toot the horn of the show whatsoever, but you hope that we're maximizing the visibility. All these folks have great followings, but hopefully this is gravy.
Yeah.
You know? So, and it certainly helps us. Hopefully it helps our audience, and hopefully it all kind of works in one good circle. You got one more quick hit from LaJohntay, right?
Oh yeah, he had rookie duty. Looks like one of his I don't know the relationship between her and LaJohntay, but this is kind of funny.
Yeah, somebody on rookie duty. Why you got people pass?
It's Rashad and
You on rookie duty?
Who's that? His girl?
It probably, that's what I'm guessing. But yeah, he's caring for the audio only. He's carrying, and those pads are not small. He's carrying the shoulder pads and jerseys of Rashad Bateman and D-Hop back from the field, bringing it in. And they're just, what's funny is it's not even like, they're like, yeah, go take it. And like, we'll be out here for a second, or we're going to go in. Like, they're following him as he's carrying it for him. So good sport. LaJohntay's like, yep, it's rookie duty. I know what I got to do.
They keep him humble in Baltimore early on. Nakia Riley gets us to within 15 gifts of 1,000 and 15 gifts away from 1,000 channel members. So thank you to Nakia. Thanks to all of you who have been so generous today and every day we do this. Eric Hill says, fun fact for Bobby and Sarah and others who don't know, volunteer firefighters are over 75% of fire departments in the country, maybe even the world. Welcome back to DHB Senior. I did not know that stat.
I for sure didn't know that.
And that takes the respect that I had for those folks in that line of work, Sarah, from through the roof to up into the universe, because they're doing it for their love of county, town, serving, right? Protecting.
Sacrifice.
It's unbelievable. Honestly, it's over. The word unbelievable is obviously overused. But Eric, what you guys do is second to none. So thank you so much for serving a community that's not far from where I grew up, and I've been spending this summer here in Albany, New York. He's just south of me. So thank you, Eric. Salute to you.
I have 2 follow-up questions for Eric, if he doesn't mind answering. Number 1, Eric, are you volunteer or are you paid? And number 2, is 75% like the actual firefighters that are going in and like pulling you out of a fire, or is it like kind of the support staff?
It's great follow-up, which I knew the answer. Douglas says, got 3 more pieces of merch today when I got back. The wheel tank in gray.
Nice.
Wheel logo, and I got a white hood. Yeah, this, Sarah, I'm just throwing this out there. When the weather starts to turn in the Northeast, I think that white hoodie might become our new snapback, the bestseller. I really do.
Ooh.
That's what I'm thinking. And just so you know, just so everyone knows what I'm talking about, what I'm referring to, it's this right here.
It looks so clean.
I didn't even need to wait for the this was my first haul.
Oh, you've already ordered that one.
I already tried it on. And trying it on, the fit is so fitty. Like I feel snug in it.
The fit is so fitty.
it feels snug. It's just, there's a clean drip to it. You got the Vault logo on the front. Like, let's get some, Douglas. I'm with you. He also got, so he was saying
I
the
do
white
think we
hoodie
need to put that in
green.
purple, though. We got to get a purple one of those.
All right.
I'll write a note down for Carly. Whatever.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
going to have a lot of notes for when we come in with our cold gear.
I like it. Thanks, guys. That's the white hoodie. And one of many accessories or options that we have for you on the vaultpod.com/shop, which is now available to you. Crew necks, tank tops, dry fit, Under Armour gear. Go ahead and check it out. Sarah, Eric Hill has, man, he's just on a roll today. Eric has gotten us to within 5 of 1,000 channel vault counts. So thanks so much, Eric. 5 out. Eric, for you, super chat. Amazing. Actually, he's not. I'm Bojita, so you're not talking to me, Eric.
I'm so sorry. I started this whole thing. That's my bad. Vegeta is short as well, Bojita. Hashtag 6K for LJ.
It's all good. People think that I'm 5'5" in the chat. You guys can go kick sand. All right.
You are 5'8". Don't take
You know
3
it
inches away.
with the proper shoes on, for sure. Douglas is trying to get us to 1,000, so he gave a $5 super chat, and then just for good measure, got us to 1,000 with 5 extra Voltrons.
Wow. Thank
Unbelievable.
you,
So for the second, just so we're keeping track, Sarah, this is the second time that we've reached that milestone of 1,000 channel Voltrons. What happens is every single day, the number resets, because when you're gifted as much as we are, and I was going to say, yes, it's a gift to us, but it's a gift to our audience is really what it is. When our audience is gifted so often, they get the option after a month to either renew or allow it to run out, that 1-month membership. And so a lot of folks, just because it's a gift and they didn't plan on renewing or didn't plan on having the membership, obviously, understandably, Sarah, will let it run out. So that's why the number resets, if you're wondering why we're continuing to chase to 1,000. It's the second time we've got there, and we have you guys to thank for it. Thank you so much.
At some point, especially I feel like during the season, there'll be more people that will take those gifts and renew it themselves.
Maybe.
Hopefully someday we're talking about, 1,500, all that kind of stuff.
And I think just to tease a part of our conversation yesterday that we're still working through, I think there's going to be some fun times this year where we can make a decision on opening the vaultpod.com up to like a discount that's available to you guys if certain things happen, a Ravens win, a certain level of gifts are achieved, like something happens. And that'll be our way of saying thank you to, and there'll be giveaways along the way as well that we'll come up with. We're really excited to spend the next few weeks kind of ironing a lot of that out.
Real quick, practice participation report that just came in for today, right now. Jeff Rebeck says that Jalen Armour Davis and, oh boy, we went over this. Bilal Kone. Boom! Nailed it. I nailed it, didn't I? Bilal Kone.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah.
That's just how I roll. Anyway, they both returned to practice. So that is really good news for Jalen Armour Davis, who had to have that MRI. Guys that are missing, running back Marcus Major, wide receivers Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman. We knew Flowers was going to stay out a couple more days according to Harbs yesterday. Rashad, remember, he was sick. He came back yesterday, which we saw LeJounte carrying his shoulder pads, but he's back out. And then obviously Isaiah Likely and Emory Jones are out. We've known about those two. So not too bad. I'm sure they'll ask about Rashad Bateman. Maybe, I don't know if it was a return of illness or what. But he was coming off the field with LeJounte, and he looked fine in that video there. So I'm sure is Harbs speaking today?
You check that. I'll get us caught up on Super Chats. Douglas says 1,500. Think large, Sarah. What about 5K? He wants 5K channel Voltrons.
I was just thinking baby steps on the way there, but for sure 5K.
He says, hey, Sarah,
you're right.
Kick rocks with your idea. We're going to get you to 5K. Thanks,
wait, so is the saying kick rocks and then you just made it kick sand a minute ago? Is that, I kind of like kick sand.
Or, kick rocks.
Either way, like, you telling people to kick those things, like rocks will hurt your foot and sand will just come right back up in your own eyes.
Kind of love it too. Eric writes, okay, question, answering your question. Yes, I'm a volunteer, hence the pager. And for the most part, everyone becomes interior certified. Although on the fire ground exterior, firefighters help as well with extinguishment duties. So interior
Oh.
meaning office work and
No. I was thinking like interior going into a house with a fire. Yes, I'm a volunteer. Has the Patreon. For the most part, everyone comes interior certified, meaning you can go into a burning building.
oh, see, my
Although
interpretation
on
of
the
what you were asking
fire
about
ground
in-house
exterior.
stuff. I don't know.
Oh, maybe he's using fire lingo that we just don't know.
But thanks, Eric. Thanks for the supplemental information. Fossil TKM has gifted us a channel membership. So thank you, Fossil, for being here. We are well over 1,000 now, thanks to you guys.
Harbaugh is not speaking today, so we won't get an update on Bateman.
Thank you.
It's coordinators. We got Chris Orton, Todd Monk, and Zach Orr, but they're going to add in T. Martin.
All righty. That's coming up. Sarah and I will have that tomorrow for you. Douglas H. Brown Sr. on the way out wanted to make sure that he matched Fossil's gift of one apiece. So thanks to both of you. Sarah and I will be back on Friday for a Ravens Lunch Hour live stream. You know the drill. Same time, same place. Like the video on your way out if you could. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. I see all these shots, these friggin' not so subtle shots in the live chat. You guys think I can't take them. I can. Keep them coming. Partner, we'll catch up tomorrow in under 23 hours from right now. If you could, on the way out, do all the things that help the channel grow that are free. Liking, subscribing, notification belling. vaultpod.com/shopping. It's actually shop. But we're going to go. All right, we're going to go now.
Hold on. Can we just review some of the funny things you said today? You said gingering at one point.
Oh,
gingering.
That was bad.
You said notification belling. Kick sand, which is my favorite. I actually might have to start using that. And there was something else you said today that was funny. You were on a roll today, partner.
Thank you. Thank you. And we are rolling out.
Yes, we
Thank
are
you,
rolling
guys.
out.
Thanks for a great day and for spending some time with us inside the vault. Voltrons, as always, we appreciate you. We'll catch up with you on Friday at 12 noon Eastern, if not before.